The burning field had now separated the two of them. Elvira also became unable to take her potions. Their core power was in her being the head of the alchemy faculty, but the most crucial weakness of the alchemy faculty was, without relying on magic tools or potions, their direct combat ability was almost non-existent. Usually, alchemy faculty members wear emergency magic tools in the form of rings or necklaces to be on guard, but she disdains carrying such things. She feels that geniuses don't seem to need such things, because it is also troublesome. She also wondered, could it be? That guy has thought so far. He deliberately caused the candles to fall, and created a wall of fire shortly after, to target her bag, but she immediately denied her guess, because she thought he should be targeting the main bag, not the rope. Then, she also didn't think he could think that far, because he was just a mere Ed Rothtailor. He then took out a blue pearl-like object. He still had a card that he hadn't taken out. He then slammed the pearl on the floor, which then turned it into a winged rabbit. She then drew a magic circle on the rabbit's back, applying fire resistance and berserk. Then, reinforced, right after that, the rabbit's size suddenly grew to more than twice her body size. While Elvira was taking out her card to get out of the situation, Isla was still worried about the situation that befell them. She then cast a spell to extinguish the fire, but a wind blade suddenly attacked towards her, which also destroyed the spell she cast. Isla could only frantically scream seeing that, but fortunately, the wind blade was immediately parried by Taylor before it could hit her. Taylor then worriedly asked her to hold on. Isla immediately broke out in a cold sweat because she felt that she was about to meet her death. Isla was indeed confident in her knowledge of magic, but her combat ability was only average even among first-year students who had just learned basic magic. With Ed blatantly targeting Isla, he couldn't even get close to him. Not only that, he and Isla even became difficult to even move. Elvira then suddenly called him and asked, "You can beat him if we shorten the distance to him, right?" Taylor was then confused when he heard the question. But Elvira didn't explain it directly and ordered her summoned rabbit to immediately attack towards Ed. Seeing that, Taylor then replied, "It's not about whether he can or not, he has to do it." Elvira liked his enthusiasm. She then protected herself with a cloak and immediately lunged towards the flames. Isla then felt worried for her when she saw it, even though it made her cloak burn. But it made her able to get to where her potions fell earlier. She was very happy because she could meet her favorite potions again. As for Ed, when he saw the big rabbit coming towards him, he then once again cast Wind Blade, but his target was not the rabbit, but Elvira, who was currently busy picking up her potions. He then threw his attack at her, but there was no panic on Elvira's face when she saw it. She just thought it seemed that Ed had made a little preparation, but he was late. She then used the reinforcement release magic on her potion, then threw it towards the Wind Blade. It was a special potion made by mixing the night butterfly flower and gal mushroom, and when mixed using the reinforcement release magic formula, an explosion would occur and have a suppressed emission magic power, and temporarily subdues the products that result from magic formulas. The effect of the explosion even scorched the surrounding area. Elvira then silently asked him, did he know what she meant? A magician who could not use magic anymore. Ed managed to defend himself from the explosion using the big rabbit's body, which he used as a shield, which made it look like he was still okay and came out unscathed. But Elvira just scoffed at that because she felt he was just acting like he was okay. He now couldn't use magic anymore. While they had a fighter on their side, she then told Taylor to attack him immediately. Taylor then immediately rushed forward, but Ed seemed to run when he saw it. Taylor then asked if he was running away. Ed certainly didn't just run away. He then picked up a wooden block nearby, and threw it down to block his path. It also caused the bucket of oil to spill onto the floor. The oil then flowed onto the floor, and when the oil met the fire, a spark then occurred, and the smoldering fire then burned the surrounding area. Based on the smell, Taylor realized that this was oil. Elvira then asked him if he was crazy. They were in the Awfulest Hall. If the fire spread to the corridor, it would definitely cause an accident, and Taylor was still not afraid when he saw it. Whether it was a fire made by magic or a fire spread by oil, he could cut through it all with his elemental slash, since the effect of this reagent wouldn't last more than a few minutes, so before anyone got hurt, he would end it. Seeing him desperately rushing forward, Elvira then worriedly asked him to stop. The window was opened wide enough for all the smoke to escape, and he had removed all the carpets that could catch fire. He also moved everything that was flammable. Based on all that, she knew Ed had planned everything even here. Ed then took out a bow. Seeing that, Elvira then frantically once again tried to stop Taylor, who rushed forward. But it was in vain. Ed then drew his bow towards Taylor, who rushed towards him, although he was surprised Ed could use a crossbow. But Taylor was confident he could stop it, but he was then surprised, because the target of Ed's shot was not him, but Isla, who was behind him. Seeing an arrow attacking towards her, Isla then immediately frantically tried to stop it, but she could not even use basic defense magic at the moment, because the effect of Elvira's magic formula was still there. Taylor was then very anxious to see that. And in the midst of the anxiety that engulfed them, the arrow suddenly stopped right in front of Isla. The arrow seemed to be held back by some kind of energy ball. The energy ball turned out to come from Elvira, who was using a round-shaped item that released electricity around it. She sighed in relief because it was almost. The item she used was called Claw Hand, a magic machine tool that can release power to pull small objects from afar as long as they are still within sight. But Elvira was then surprised when she carefully looked at the arrow again. She was surprised because the arrow did not have an arrowhead, but instead was wrapped in cloth. She then realized that Ed was still holding back. She then immediately told Taylor to be careful. She was sure Ed must have other tricks that he had not used, but her warning ended in vain, because Taylor did not listen at all. He then attacked Ed using his sword, but his attack could still be resisted by Ed. Ed suddenly heard a noise. Based on the noise, he knew it came from the second floor. He also asked, "Is it time already?" The voice came from Clebius. He anxiously said, "If we stay still, we will all die." The last chapter of Act 2, the Awfulous Hall Mastery Incident, the second floor boss. Wicked Clebius went on a rampage. Ed then sighed with relief because his role was now over. He then let himself be hit by Taylor's attack. It made him fall and hit the wall, and made the dust fly. Elvira was dumbfounded by the sudden change. She was surprised why Ed was defeated so easily. The whole floor became a mess due to their battle. After defeating him, Taylor then asked him if he was crazy. He must have a reason to go this far. Elvira really felt icky during the battle. It felt like they were just being deliberately played. If he really wanted to prevent them, he could have done it without showing himself and ambushed them by dropping the candle lamp. But instead he was blatantly standing in front of them and blocking them. There was no sign of carelessness during the battle after that. There was something strange here. Seeing him stop talking, Ed then asked if he was done. If they were done, he then told them to stop babbling and immediately go upstairs. They were then confused to hear that he had been blocking them. Taylor then asked what this meant. With the gloomy atmosphere that engulfed the Awfulous Hall and the patter of rain that fell on the building, Elvira then asked, why did he let them go? Taylor was then surprised to hear her question. He was confused why Elvira said Ed let them go. Elvira ignored Taylor's confusion. Feeling angry, she then said that she couldn't just let this pass without knowing what really happened. Seeing him not answering, Elvira then told him to immediately answer her question. Why did he let them go? But there was absolutely no response from Ed. He just looked at her with an apathetic look. Elvira then got angry at that, and in the middle of their argument, the entrance door suddenly opened, and a girl then entered. Camellia's flower hairpin was something that this girl had painstakingly selected all night. Could someone humiliate her pure love by calling it naive? It might have been delusional, but imagining happy thoughts is up to a person's freedom. But the gap between imagination and reality can sometimes be cruel. The boy she thought would appear at the gazebo in a dashing style was instead attacked by a group of brats and lay there covered in blood. A feeling of anger then fell on her when she saw that. She then asked what they had done.
So, friends, this chapter comes to an end. What will happen next? We'll uncover it in the next chapter. Don't forget to rate this chapter out of 10 in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.